I'm Jeremy, and you're listening to Verse by Verse. King David knew a thing or two about being outmatched by his enemies. He fought against a giant when he was just a shepherd boy. He spent years on the run from an angry King Saul. His own son attempted to steal the throne out from under him and forced him into a temporary exile. Psalm 11 opens with the words of David's friends and counselors, who are urging him to run from a treacherous situation. His enemies are setting up an ambush. David is outmatched. The only rational choice is to turn tail and run. And there were times when David did have to run. But in this instance, David explains no. His refuge isn't some physical place of safety. His refuge is in God. He lays out his reasoning in verse 4 of Psalm 11. The Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold. His eyelids test the sons of men. David knew that God is on his throne. Whatever happens in this life, whatever trials we face, whatever impossible situations threaten us, the God of all creation is seated on his throne. There is nothing that happens here on earth that is beyond his control. But more than that, he sees. His eyes behold, his eyelids test the sons of men. From his throne in heaven, there is no action, no thought, no emotion, no intention that the Lord of all creation cannot see. The hearts of men are wide open to him. Wicked or righteous, he can read them all like an open book. This idea of testing the sons of men borrows an idea from ancient metallurgy. Testing a metal meant melting it to reveal whether or not there were impurities within it. When God tests humans, he also reveals what's within us. He examines what we're made of and is never deceived by the way things look on the outside. So when we, like David, are in trouble, God sees. He knows the situation. He knows the best thing to do. And he loves us enough to do it. That doesn't always mean things will work out the way we'd prefer or the way that's easiest. Sometimes the best way is a difficult way, full of challenges and trials. But God knows something is waiting at the end that makes everything worth it. Sometimes the road God has us take doesn't make sense until we get where we're going. But God can see it all perfectly. His eyes behold what ours cannot, and so we trust him to do what we cannot, and to bring us through our most difficult trials, even when the pathway forward doesn't make sense to us. The Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold. His eyelids test the sons of men. God is strong enough, wise enough, and loves us enough to bring us through the very worst moments of this life and into a future that makes it all worth it. If you want to know more about that future, check out the show notes for a link to our free booklet, God's Purpose for You.
Verse by Verse is a companion podcast to the Daily Bible Verse blog, which you can find on the Life, Hope, and Truth Learning Center. Check out the show notes for more.